Hi and welcome. This is Anna Bevan Gravely with NCFREE, and I am joined by Diane Wheatley, who's the Republican candidate for House District 43. Diane, is there anything you want to share with us before we get started?
Yes, thank you very much, and I'm excited about doing this. I did want to let your viewers know that uh, prior to going into my family business with my husband, I was a registered nurse and worked at Cape Fear Valley Hospital for a number of years, and also at the Children's Clinic. So I had a career prior to a need that I filled for my husband at our family business.
Perfect. And I think that goes straight into the first question of, have you ever owned a business or been in a management position within a business?
For over 30 years, I worked with my husband, and we operated our company, which was called Bragg Lines Incorporated, which provided school bus services on military bases throughout the Southeast part of the United States. And during that time, we employed as many as 110 people, and we were the largest local contractor on Fort Bragg. We had operations in Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, and Alabama. And we were frequently recognized by the military for consistent, superior service. I started as a special needs bus driver, then I acted as a dispatcher, and finally as contract manager for the Fort Bragg contract. And concurrently, I was the first bookkeeper and the chief financial officer for the company. As CFO, I was responsible for not only normal financial concerns, but also reinvestment of earnings to maximize return on the investment we had.
Awesome. That's a lot of experience there. Thank you for sharing. Would you say that the current level of federal and state taxation on business is too high, too low, or just about right?
I believe President Trump and the state Republican majority have done a good job in positioning our tax and regulation policies. The wisdom of this effort has been borne out by the rate of growth in both the economy and tax revenues. Fiscal policy, however, is a moving target, and the true impact of the coronavirus shutdown is yet to be determined. No one knows at this point what we will need to do to get the economy, both national and statewide, back on track. That said, one thing is for sure: the only way for the economy to recover is for businesses that make up that economy to recover. State government will need to be more pro-business and more pragmatic than ever.
Yeah, that's a great point about the immersion out of COVID-19 and what this looks like for our state, and just how many unknowns we really do have in terms of business. And so, do you feel it is appropriate for state or local governments to offer incentives to private businesses in consideration of locating, expanding, or conducting business within a specific part of the state?
I have some strong feelings about this one, and I do, because it depends entirely on the situation. I'm diametrically opposed to doing this when it favors one business and places another one at a competitive disadvantage. However, as an ex-county commissioner, I know that tax incentives do sometimes work to bring new industry into an area that provide growth, jobs, and can create a larger tax base. The key is to base decisions in this area on cost-benefit analysis done by professional economists.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Describe your personal opinion as to what the key principles of free enterprise in our economic system are.
In a true free enterprise system, the market determines what goods and services are available, who supplies them, and what price is charged. In practical terms, I would strive to create an environment where an entrepreneur would be free to go into any business they wanted to and not have their efforts obstructed by too much government regulation or excess taxation.
Great, thank you. In your opinion, what is the appropriate balance in the scope of federal and state regulatory requirements on business? What, in your opinion, is the best way to balance the appropriate protections without impugning economic vitality?
Technically, the federal government really should limit itself to issues concerning interstate commerce and making sure we have a uniform system of doing business. The most responsive government is always going to be the one closest to the people. So any regulation is best handled on a state level. Let me get this. It would be best handled on a state level where local needs and issues can be taken into account. At the same time, those regulations need to dovetail with the Universal Commercial Code.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So, Diane, if you're elected, what would be your top 3 priorities as it pertains to the business community?
My top priorities will be minimum taxes, minimum regulations, and a strong workforce. To accomplish these, I would work with the leadership to continue with fiscal restraint, defend our status as a right-to-work state, continue to roll back unwarranted regulations, and improve our educational system.
Awesome. Thank you so much for spending the time with us and telling us a little bit more about you and what you care about and what you're passionate about doing. Is there a way that we can learn more about you online?
Yes, I have a webpage that is DianeWheatleyNC.com. And I also have a Facebook page that is Diane Wheatley, NC House District 43. And I also can give you my email, which is ddwheatley@yahoo.com, and you can communicate with me there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of the day.
Oh, thank you very much. And you do the same.